marijuana legal. Like, that's
Mm,
just what they think. I'm more of the boomer that's like, no,
mm-hmm.
we shouldn't. Oh, well, maybe we should. Oh, no, we shouldn't. But anyway, we have to move to the next story,
Yep.
which is our final story. It is brought to you by NBC News, and this was listener submitted. This is going to blow everyone's mind as soon as I click the link and open it, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm clicking the link and I'm opening. Okay, here it is. Babies who have DNA from three different people are
Like
born.
mom, dad,
I
mom.
keep listening.
I just need to say that. Like that's three different parents. Yeah.
Three different people
Yeah.
born in the UK for the first time. In 2015, the UK became the first country to adopt legislation regulating methods to help prevent women with faulty mitochondria from passing defects onto their babies. Britain's fertility regulator on Wednesday confirmed that the births of the UK's first babies created using an experimental technique combining DNA from three people, an effort to prevent children from inheriting rare genetic diseases. The Human Fertilization and Embryology Authority said fewer than five babies have been born this way in the UK, but did not provide further detail to protect the families' identities. The news was first reported by the Guardian newspaper. In 2015, the UK became the first country to adopt legislation regulating methods to help prevent women with faulty mitochondria, the energy source in a cell, from passing defects onto their babies. The world's first baby born using the technique was reported in the US in 2016. The genetic defects can result in diseases such as muscular dystrophy, epilepsy, heart problems, and intellectual disabilities. About 1 in 200 children born in Britain is born with a mitochondrial disorder. To date, 32 patients have been authorized to receive such treatment. For a woman with faulty mitochondria, scientists take genetic material from her egg or embryo, which is then transferred into a donor egg or embryo that still has healthy mitochondria but had the rest of its key DNAs removed. The fertilized embryo is then transferred into the womb of the mother. The genetic material from the donated egg comprises less than 1% of the child created from this technique. The mitochondrial donation treatment offers families with severe inherited mitochondrial illnesses the possibility of a healthy child, the UK fertility regulator said in a statement. The agency said it's still early days, but it hoped that the scientists involved at the Newcastle University would publish details of the treatment. So, there's more to the story. I will absolutely link it because it's bonkers. Um, Crazy. I mean, we've reported on some really wild science things. And I think I've referred to this before, but we never actually like read the article. Crazy.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it's
crazy.
definitely giving me IVF right now.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking just dystopia. Like this sounds like a we're in the on the way to all the dystopian novels I would read when I was a kid. Every
Mm.
dystopian novel I read as a kid, every single one, from Uglies to like what's the one you have to read for school? Brave New World. You design your babies. Like you don't actually
Hmm.
like it's not like a actual like mom and dad, let's do it. It's
Yeah.
design. You pick you want this, you want that, blah, blah, blah. It's every dystopian novel. So this is crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah. And this really does go back to can we legalize morality? Because
Yep.
while it is immoral, period, it's immoral to have three parents. That is not how God designed us. That does
Yeah.
not do dignity to that child. Should it be illegal? I don't know. It makes me think of, first of all, some of the critiques in the article were that there are other ways of avoiding diseases in children, such as screening tests.
Right.
And
I
also,
feel like you're skipping so much to do this.
and I think they did say it's a last resort. It makes me think, I mean, I guess the only real legislative problem I would have with it is how much risk it puts the child at for danger and death. If it puts the child at a high risk of death, I would say that should be illegal because when else do we subject unwilling patients to experiments that have high
Mhm.
risk?
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, if a family has an infant that is close to death and they say, it's our last resort, just do it, and unfortunately the child dies, that's, I think that's a different scenario. It's
Oh, like
not
if they it's
necessarily.
like a if they have like a disease or something, they're trying to heal the disease.
Exactly,
Okay,
and
okay,
and
okay.
they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no options, and so
Yeah.
they do a 50-50 thing or even
Yeah.
something with a 10% chance
Yeah.
of
Like
success.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I also don't understand how severe this disease is. Does it result in death or does it result
Epilepsy, I
in.
mean, I know tons of people, maybe not tons. I know quite a few people with epilepsy. I mean, that's not, it sounds awful, but it's not the end of the world. Like, and I
Yeah,
know that they are looking for cures and they'd rather not have it, but I don't think it's
yeah.
enough to, and once again, I don't have it. So, I'm speaking
Mhm.
from someone who doesn't have it, but I don't think it's enough to
Risk death.
risk death or, I mean, even like more from the morality perspective, like
Yeah,
risks, playing God, really.
totally.
I don't know if it's enough for that. I think this is crazy. This is wild.
It really is, and we are at almost an hour 15.
Yeah. I had one more thing I wanted to say.
Oh,
Go ahead and clip this because I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Or like go ahead and like cut this out while I'm trying to remember. You said um the diseases. What say go
I
back to what you said?
okay, I said like it has to do with how willing the patient is and like if they're knowing, like is the child knowingly participating in this, like,
Oh,
or
I
if
know
the
what I was gonna
infant
say.
was okay. Sorry.
No, 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 you're good. Okay, so last thing, I'm gonna
Wait,
wrap it up. Wrap it up real
okay.
quick. Them Before Us is an organization where they talk a lot about when we're make children, like it's we should have children first adoption, children first, like everything should be child first. And I feel like when we start making playing God, because that's really what it is, when we start doing all these different things, it's not child first. It's
Mm,
what makes me, the adult, the parent, happiest, what makes me
yeah.
the most comfortable. And I think that when we start thinking child first, that's a lot, like, it just makes, it's more of how God designed it, and I think it transforms our decisions. Because not to bring IVF back up, but I'm thinking about IVF. Like, I am 28 years old. I want to be a mom so badly. Like, I cannot express how badly I wish I was a mom. The reality is, by the time I turn 30, a lot of my eggs are no longer going to be usable. Okay, so what can I do? Can I go and become a single mom on purpose at 29? Definitely not right now, but like at 29. Can I go and become a single mom at 29 on purpose? What quality of life would my child have? Not knocking single moms at all. I'm saying, what is the best thing for the child? Knowingly, intentionally creating a life where they don't know their father, where they probably can't even like connect with their father, where, I mean,
Are you talking about sperm donation?
yeah, like sperm donation.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah, yes, because I mean, I don't have a boyfriend. I would just
No,
go,
I thought
anybody
you
want
meant,
to be
yeah, I
my,
thought you
yeah.
meant like hooking up, or I
Oh,
thought you
that's
meant like.
you're right. I guess I could hook up with somebody. You're right. You're right.
But
Um,
but that's mainly a sperm donation kind of scenario.
yes, I'm thinking sperm donation. Is this right? Is this just me trying to fulfill like my strong desire to be a mom?
That
Which
is
one is
so
it?
true. That is
Which
so true. And also, that organization talks a lot about divorce.
yeah.
All kinds of decisions that this perspective is unique. I think a lot of times we like to think that we're being empathetic, when in reality, we're just doing something because it suits us and makes us feel
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
Is it really the empathetic decision to alter the way that God created your child, or is it going to make you feel better?
So here's another thing. I cannot remember the exact story. absolute last thing, you guys. I cannot remember the exact story, but Melanie was on, and we were talking about, it might be like artificial wombs or something, or like some sort of cloning from
Yeah.
DNA or something like that. And we
Mm-hmm.
talked about whether like they had a, because what gets you to heaven? Your soul gets you to heaven. Okay. Now, I don't think your DNA gets, I guess it wouldn't apply to this because it's the DNA that's been altered. But, it just still goes back to like, you're like, are you, do you guys get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Well, I think no matter how you're conceived, no matter if you're in a test tube, a petri dish, a womb, an artificial womb, the moment of conception, you get a soul. Now, I think it degrades the soul to bring a child into anything other than the loving embrace of a mother and father. But I don't think that means they don't have a soul.
I guess you're right. I guess there's a difference between like DNA and like a straight up like clone. Because that was the thing with a clone. Like, the clone didn't, it was just literally just like a clone. Like, a clone wouldn't have a soul. Because a clone wouldn't have gone through all the things that needed to make it a human. A clone is just
What are you talking
a
about?
clone. A clone. A clone, like, if someone
You
were
said
to,
it you said an artificial womb though.
yeah, well, okay, back up. I meant, so when we were talking about an artificial womb, and we were talking about, they said something about clones, because that's how we got on the topic of souls. Because if you are, like, in a womb, sure, like you said, petri dish, a tube, a womb, it's all the same when it comes to, like, your soul. But, like, without, if you don't go through, if you're just create basically like a robot, a clone would kind of be like an AI robot in real life.
Oh my gosh, Mallory, I have never heard of this.
We did an episode on it. I guess you don't really listen to the podcast. No, I'm just joking. It was a while
When
ago.
was this
This
episode?
was like, oh my goodness, maybe a year ago. I'll have to find it. Like a year ago, we read this article and it was like so crazy. And it was about something that they're planning on in the future. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Oh my
If you guys
gosh.
are avid listeners, comment what like the article if you remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess the soul thing doesn't, the more I think about it, like, the DNA is not the same as the soul. So, like, or DNA isn't the same as,
If you have unique DNA, I would say probably. I would say, you know what? Let's say this. Err on the side of caution. If you don't know if it's a human being, if you don't know there's a soul, if you don't know, err on the side of caution. Because if you don't, you could be committing a homicide. Period.
yeah. Yes. I wasn't
That's my
thinking of
answer.
killing them. My mind didn't go to killing them, but fair. Fair.
Oh.
My mind was just, I always think about, like,
Or just
am I going to
disrespecting a
heaven?
human being.
Like, I was thinking of heaven. Like, are they going to be able to go to heaven?
Oh. Well, I'm
That's what
always
I was
thinking
thinking
about
about.
killing.
That's so funny. Yeah, my concern is like, can they still go to heaven? And then, okay, if they can't go to heaven, that means they can't
Um,
go to hell. So what does that happen? Anyway, that's a whole
that's up
nother
to God. I
thing.
don't have any idea. I have
That's a
no
whole nother
answer for
thing.
what happens.
Anyway, that's more of a blurry creatures type of conversation. Oh, maybe I should submit that to
Well,
them. Anyway, you guys, this has been a great episode about morality and legislation of morality. We've talked about a bajillion different things. Make sure that you check out all of our sponsors. I didn't do a single ad this episode. We're almost at an hour 30, so no need to do that. We'll link all the sponsors and whatnot. We'll also link yes, this necklace is one of them. We'll also link the Patreon, the merch store, all this other stuff. If you enjoyed this episode, which I'm sure you did, go ahead and give it a like, give it a rate, give it a subscribe, give it a follow, interact with it however you feel. This was interesting to say the least. And I want to hear from you. Let us know if we should legislate morality. Let us know if you think Santos is guilty. Let us know if you think Trump is guilty. Let us know,
what you think should happen to that guy Ewing?
yeah.
Ewing.
Yeah, let us know. Let us
Did he get
know.
jail time? How much? Life, maybe? That's kind of where I'm leaning. Just kidding.
I was gonna say, the only reason why I would say no to life is because you have to give something stronger to the person who actually created it. That's the only reason why I would say.
Totally.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you gotta
cool.
have to make a difference because there is a difference, but
Yeah.
you know we gotta be. But anywho, let us know. Or do you think that it's all the same? You're wrong if you
Send
think
us
it's all the
in.
same, but let us
Send us
know. And that's that. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night, evening, however, wherever you're listening. Bye.
Bye.